What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, a podcast that talks about comic books, movies, TV shows, and we feature a beer of the week. As always, go ahead, support the show, patreon.com/hopsgeeknews if you want to, and then also come hang out on our Discord. We like to chat, share all sorts of spoiler threads for certain things. Social media, I'm on Twitter most of the time. Lauren runs the Instagram. I try to do my best on TikTok, but Lauren's been holding that down. And that's where you can find us. Hops Geek News there as well. And then our podcast, same name. Keeping it easy. Today's episode, man, the greatest show of all time is just wrapped up, unfortunately. So we're going to go through therapy and talk some Ted Lasso season 3. Of course, we couldn't do it alone. Our friend Richard is back. He works with the MCU Direct. You've heard him on here before. We chatted a little bit. So we had to bring in some star power to chat this season. First things first, though. I'm drinking a beer that you heard on our last week's episode. So fun fact, I'm drinking Augie from Great Notion Brewing. You heard it on last week's episode. Well, I'm drinking it again. Spoiler alert. Lauren, I know you had a beer for this.
I did, but I have not opened it. So I'm still drinking my little whip from New England IPA. And I feel like, you got to give a little whip when you hit your head with the soccer ball or the football. So I'm just going to.
If you kick it through the net.
Loosely. Oh, there you go. If you kick it through the net. So I'm going to loosely tie it in, but I am still drinking it out of my Spider-Man glass. Sometimes, don't judge us. Sometimes we do 2 in one night.
That's true. That's true.
But if I get to my other one that I have all prepped, because I have a Michelada beer on deck. And so I have limes and Hot Baron's Badass rub ready to go and everything.
Well, that voice in the background is our good friend, Rich. What's up, man? How are you doing? Welcome back. How is life?
Doing good. And firstly, the way you're saying whip, the only thing I could think of is, ooh, let me have some of that Cool Whip.
Yes, I was saying that too in my head, like whip. Why are you saying it like that? What do you mean?
I was saying it like that because of thwip, because we were doing Spider-Man before, so it was a thwip was in my head.
You're saying it weird. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H? What are you talking about? I'm saying a Cool Whip. You put Cool Whip on pie. Pie tastes better with Cool Whip.
That's all I think of when I hear whip.
Do not even get me started on doing the Family Guy impressions.
That was where my head went. Yeah,
I could do that for the entire show.
What are you talking about, Brian? It's a wheat thin. Wheat.
You're saying it like that.
Yeah. You're eating hair. No, but I'm good. I've been good. I've been busy working, just writing articles left, right, and center.
Overtime, man. There's a lot coming out right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like the last month alone, next month's gonna be crazy. I mean, we've had Guardians, Spider-Verse is amazing. I mean, then we've got the Flash and Transformers and
Indiana Jones.
Totally. Yes. I mean, it's going to be a busy few months for all of us, but especially us at the Direct. It's kind of cool. We're getting into more like general movies and stuff besides just Marvel, DC, Star Wars, stuff like that. So I'm going to be
Barbie
really busy here. Oh, hell yeah. Only the greatest.
I love how excited everybody is for the Barbie movie. It makes me so happy.
I'm literally going to be going to see Barbie first. Like, I know that Oppenheimer opened, but come on.
The same day. Yeah.
I think you responded to me on Twitter about that.
You were like, I'm like one of the only people
that was
go
great.
To Barbie first. And I was like, no, there's 2 of us. Like, I'm literally going to Barbie first.
No, honestly, it feels like most people are kind of leaning the Barbie route. And that kind of makes me happy. I mean, I'm sure Oppenheimer's going to be great. But Barbie's different, man.
It's interesting you say that because I feel like Barbie is more towards not that Oppenheimer can't be, but it's Christopher Nolan. It's a 3-hour, 2-minute movie. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be more serious. But all the trailers I've seen from Barbie, it's more general audience geared. And it just looks freaking fun.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to get a babysitter for the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
What is it
I don't know. My 5-year-old was like, can I go see Barbie? And I was like, it's a good question.
I'd assume at worst it's PG-13, but I don't know if they've officially rated it yet.
Right. I'm assuming all the dirty jokes will go over the kids' heads.
Yeah, it's like Shrek.
Just like they do in Disney movies.
Yeah, all those kids movies, they always have dirty,
they made Barbie dirty jokes in Toy Story.
Like the family.
Absolutely, they did.
We're going to Barbie opening night, dude. Just put that on your calendar. But yeah, you're whole 100% right. If you ever need a Fast and Furious expert, just give me a call. I got you. If you have hey, I have a question about the Fast and Furious universe because we're leaning into Fast and Furious 17 at this point. what happened in this
God.
movie.
Well, we're already at freaking, what, 12?
Yes.
And did they just confirm that there's going to be a 12?
Yes. Well, we just confirmed that The Rock will be back, and it's going to bridge the gap between Fast X and the sequel to Fast X. So I don't know if that's 11 or 12, but Luke Hobbs is coming back in a standalone movie that's going to tie in to the next Fast movie.
So it's a whole freaking franchise now. How many was Paul Walker in?
He was only up to Fast.
Wasn't he like the first one?
He was in Fast and Furious.
Didn't he pass away before 7 came out?
Wasn't in 3, and then he was filming 90% of Fast.
Oh, so there was a one he wasn't
was a stand-in. Well, his so he was in Fast 7. He passed away during filming. His brother finished the filming. They just CGI'd his face on, but they did a lot of that like before they got Grand Animal Tarkin, Luke Skywalker CGI good. They kind of like briefly show glimpses of his face, but he never talks. So that's
right. I didn't realize he was alive for that long. I thought he was only in the first couple. So Paul Walker was still around when it went like full cheese kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. He comes back in Fast and Furious 4s where they pick it back up and it feels like a completely different movie from the other. So Fast and Furious history lesson, everybody. We're getting Ted Lasso. I promise. So Tokyo Drift. So Fast and Furious 1, you see him and Vin Diesel, like they're boosting DVDs. And then obviously
that right there ages the movie.
Yes. And then Paul Walker like gives him
the first movie came out in like what, 2001?
It was the year 2000. Yeah. It came out.
I was going to say, I think I was in high school when the first one came out. I was, yeah.
They were boosting DVDs and street racing their asses off. And then we come back for Too Fast, Too Furious, which I'm surprised they haven't brought back Eva Mendes yet because they've brought back every other character. She hasn't been back yet. This one does not.
Even the dead ones.
Yes. Oh, trust me. Gal Gadot is somehow returned in Fast 10. So just on they
got Aquaman and Wonder Woman in it.
Actually, we had the exclusive on that Gal Gadot was coming back.
That's where I saw it.
Really funny.
She shows up at the end and she's riding a submarine. Yes. Yes. And so
just ridiculous.
The only thing that would have made it better was if Jason Momoa was riding the submarine.
Right. And I'm not even worried. I've only seen the first 2, but I don't even really care about spoilers.
I don't remember the last one.
Yeah. All right. So good because Too Fast, Too Furious. The last one I saw was
like 2009, I think.
This is where Tyrese, he shows up and they go and they're working for the warlord, undercover cops, all that stuff. Eva Mendes is here. That ends. Tokyo Drift, complete departure. We're in Tokyo, all that good stuff. This is where you meet Han. Now, Fast and Furious 4, we pick up. Now, Fast and Furious 4 opens with Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez, Vin, and his crew. They're actually stealing fuel in like Ecuador. They're stealing from gas trucks. They kill the drivers in the gas trucks. They blow up the gas trucks. And then it turns out Letty dies in an email, essentially. It's like Letty's dead. Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker's a cop.
It was Letty not Michelle Gomez.
She died.
Michelle
Rodriguez. So she got kicked off of Lost for getting too many DUIs in Hawaii. Maybe she got. Maybe
I don't think it matters in the Fast universe, but she dies in what can be equated.
I really don't think so.
Yeah, and so
I'm gonna keep waiting for you to say something that I can tie it into Ted Lasso, and I got nothing.
I'm getting there. I promise you. You guys got me on the Fast and Furious train. Give me 2 seconds. I'm getting there. And yes, so Letty's dead. Dom and Paul essentially are undercover working for Braga, a drug lord, trying to find whoever killed Letty. And that's a completely different movie from what the Fast 5 franchise picks up. Because at this point, this is Fast 5 ties into Fast 10 because Jason Momoa's dad was the drug lord they stole the things from. And that's from Fast 5 on. That's where they pretty much just go ape shit. And yes.
Just completely off the rails.
All right. So how are you going to tie this in now?
I'm going to tie this into Ted Lasso.
So from one terrible franchise to a lovely TV
let's go
series.
into Ted Lasso season 3. So going into Ted Lasso season 3, it was a little divisive allegedly because the tomato meter, if you believe in Rotten Tomatoes, me personally, I don't give a shit about Rotten Tomatoes at all. However, the audience score is 76.
That's my opinion on Rotten Tomatoes mostly.
Agreed. They're giving it a 76% as the season, which is kind of whack because I guess people are complaining about this season.
Wait, the people were giving it that?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of discourse on Twitter.
Come on, people.
That are like, I don't know how they're going to tie this up. And for a second, I was like, I don't know how they're going to end this season.
You kind of knew how they were going to tie it up.
But at the same time, like the signs were there.
Yeah, he was going home. I think we knew that from the first episode. You could have called that.
You knew Nate was going to have a turnaround somehow. And
he only went because he didn't know how to deal with his divorce.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't getting a divorce at that point, was he? In season 1?
No, he was separated. His wife,
right.
They were still working on it, but they were separated. He didn't know how to deal with it. He got this job offer and he took it. So that was him not dealing with it. And then he's gone to therapy.
Yes.
This team has taught him a lot. He's taught them a lot. He's, grown, and he's realized, like, the whole thing with his mom, I don't want to get too close to my son because, the kids leave, and he realized he doesn't have a choice. He has to, like, for his son, for himself, for his ex-wife. And like, I was, part of me too was like, I hope they don't go the route where they make him and his wife get back together, because
it was
that would be
left
bullshit.
Ambiguous on purpose. So there was an AMA done by Coach Beard, who basically was like, we left it open-ended on purpose. They both loved their son, but they have a lot of work to do on themselves, essentially.
Yeah. And that was odd that they had her dating the therapist. Like, whoa, that was intense.
That was, oh my God. That made me hate everybody
Dr.
involved
Jake?
in that outside of Ted. Dr. freaking Jake was the worst.
And you saw that the son wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
Comments about soccer, though, I was a little mixed because, like, oh, yeah, it's going to be 1-1. So exciting. And, like, a lot of Americans share that opinion.
Yeah. Well, he was like your typical average American. I felt like they made him on like that on purpose.
Yeah.
They had to.
No, and like it just amazes me too, because like I actually watched earlier today the original short that they based Ted Lasso on, the one that Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt made. I think it was with like NBC Sports or something back in the day. It's like in 2014 or something. The fact that this show came from that, it not only came from that, but turned out to be like the hit show of the last 3 years. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like universally loved. Absolutely loved.
I haven't. Even considering the reviews and stuff from this season, I have not met one person who's like, I don't like Ted Lasso.
Legit.
Like, I'm just not a fan of it.
I haven't at all either.
Yeah. It's either people who haven't seen it or people who love it.
Yeah, exactly. You either haven't seen it or you love it.
Exactly. I have not seen a single person, because like I have tried to be like, okay, to put myself in shoes of somebody who wouldn't like it. I have legit tried to find nitpicks. This might be one of the few shows I've ever watched that I could not find a nitpick on. Like, I was like, no, they solve everything really quick. Cause the old like tropes in TV shows where they drag things out. Oh, you're lying to me, blah, blah, blah. They solve everything in the same episode.
Yeah. They happen all the time.
Yeah. Like, they show very real human emotion. And I equate it to like going to therapy almost. Cause I've seen actually Matt from the direct, he was like, Ted Lasso kind of helped me go and make that therapy appointment. And I was like, dude, I feel the same.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this show made it okay, because there's a stigma of men in therapy. There just is in the world, right? Like, men in going to therapy, men would rather do X, Y, and Z than go to therapy. But this show kind of showed you that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and shout out my buddy Matt. I'm actually going to be doing a Transformers review with him later this week for the Direct Podcast.
I can't wait to see that.
Check that out later. Quick plug.
Yes.
No, Matt is one of my favorite people on this planet. I've worked with him for a good 3 years now, and he is amazing. And seeing that from him was actually super, super cool. Kind of like,
I love it.
Lets you into the world of Matt Remke a little bit. And no, and that's the thing is like that. Even if you don't like go to therapy because of this show, every week feels like therapy.
Yes,
like you're sitting, it's therapeutic, like listening to all these people like deal with their problems, and it's real shit, like stuff that people deal with every single day. I mean, divorces, depression,
panic attacks,
exactly, like coming out. It's unbelievable how they work all of this stuff into a show like this. None of it feels forced. None of it feels like they're just putting it in there for the sake of putting it in there. And it just makes you feel good about it, makes you feel better about things that are going on in the world every single time you watch it after every episode. It's insane.
Even Keely's situation, like with the video, she's like, I don't regret doing
totally.
That. And, I like that she even said, she goes, I know that there's pictures of me nude out there, but I chose to do that. And, I feel like it really shed light on things people don't think about. Like, that has happened to many, not just men, but women, or not just women, but men and celebrities, where like, you take a picture for somebody you trust and whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Yeah, but I liked when they're like, okay, everybody delete all these pictures you have on your phone. And I like that
they showed solidarity in the locker room. It was awesome.
And when Roy asked,
no, exactly. Like they were all behind her 100%.
Which was awesome. None of them were like,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're saying what I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, one of the players, when they were deleting it, one of my favorite things is he's like, my niece's first birthday. Even this, and he's like deleting stuff like that off.
That I didn't get. It was like, why are you deleting all the pictures?
So he literally took it to say like every picture. They meant like when you delete all the things, the risque pictures. But he was like, my niece's birthday, like that.
Right. I don't think he understood the assignment there.
He did not.
No, he definitely did not understand the assignment.
Not at all.
But yeah, no, I like that. And I like that when Roy asked her who it was for, like he instantly realized he was being a dick and it was none of his fucking business. It wasn't for him and that's all he needed to know.
Yes.
But
I will say they did a couple of things that were like relevant. So first of all, the leaked video, right? And then you also had Colin's relationship. Like he was a gay soccer player. And so like, I remember when the first openly gay football player, yes. Well, I was going to tie in and say the first openly gay American football player came out, and he was on the Raiders, and everybody was making a big deal about that.
Right.
So like
for Jason Collins,
and I love the NBA.
Yeah. I love the fact that Isaac was basically like, dude, I'm not mad that you're gay. I'm mad that you like didn't tell me. Like that was sick.
that made me feel so much better when they had heart to heart about that. Like I don't think I was worried that Isaac was gonna be mad about him being gay, but it did seem like he was really, really hurt by just Colin not being able to trust him and everything. And they resolved that so well. And I love that whole scene at the end where they're like they're talking about it. It's so all the awkward.
Yeah. He's like, so is that a sexual position? He's like, well, you're on bunk beds. But I think one of the things I like too is like we still go straight to that drama. Okay, you know, he's homophobic or what is it? Trent is gonna rat him out. You know, he's a
you thought for sure like there was a bit where you're like, Trent.
I was so ready to hate Trent.
Because in past TV shows, right, what has happened to manufacture drama? They create those riffs. Like Trent in any other TV show written by anybody else would have
had the exclusive.
Exactly.
Next episode.
Yes. And I'm glad they didn't go that route. It made me so freaking happy that they didn't go that route because I was like, this isn't like every other TV show.
But we still were expecting that, even though we've been watching, you know,
because we've been
seasons 1 and 2. Exactly. But 2 seasons
because Ted Lasso
didn't break it.
Because Ted Lasso is not the norm. It's the outlier.
Exactly. And then we had the whole issue with Sam's shut up and dribble, right? Like how many people are like telling NBA players shut up and dribble? They tackled that head on, and I was like, man, they are so on top of it and bring the awareness to this, and the way they handle it and make it like, come on, man, I'm not just a football player, I'm not just a basketball player, like I'm a human.
Well, I don't know how easy you guys cry at stuff like that. I remember, I mean, there was a good probably every other episode. There was some where I had tears going. And the part where Sam just goes nuts in the locker room and he's like tearing everything up and going nuts. The second his dad walks in, oh my God, puddle of tears.
Aww. Yeah.
Like that just broke me.
Well, yeah, because he was such a nice dude too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of dads too, like Jamie and his dad, like that had me
amazing.
His dad went to rehab.
That shocked me.
That whole, because he was looking for his dad the whole time. Like as somebody who's played sports my whole life, like my parents never showed up to any of my game. They didn't. And so like I can kind of remember like looking out there to see where they were, but they never were there. Right. Like daddy wasn't there kind of deal.
Right.
But then he was like expecting, cause he hated him, but Ted was like, dude, you just gotta just forgive yourself. Like forgive him and you'll feel so much better. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
What was up with him and his mom, though? Why did they like? I'm all for still being affectionate with your grown children, but like,
you know what I saw that? I think I saw that as partly why Jamie's maybe a little, just a touch messed up in a couple like areas.
Yes. Like it wasn't just his dad being a dick; it was like his mom's a little weird.
I mean, he had some unhealthy as hell relationships with both of his parents. I think. I mean, his mom was nice and all, but that was some unhealthy shit.
But it was also kind of weird.
Well, and
it was super weird.
Was what made it, because she gave solid advice. She talked to him. She seemed like she had done a good job as like a mostly single mom, but I just didn't understand that. Like he's laying on her boobs. I didn't understand that at all.
Well, she was like cuddling him and stuff, and I was like, maybe I just had issues with like my parents never hugging me as a child. But
no, there's appropriate cuddling with your parents.
It's more than just that.
Yeah, 23-year-old
adult soccer player, football player, like getting a little close with his mom while his stepdad's out there showing the tour of the house, which was funny in its own right because they walk into Jamie's room and it's Keely and Roy posters.
That sent me crazy.
Like Roy's hair and everything.
Yes, another trope.
The hair was amazing.
I love the picture of Keely. It was actually very cute.
Another trope, speaking of, is the fact that they didn't do the love triangle, the typical love triangle, right? They kind of were like, they were all three friends.
They sort of did, but they didn't.
Yeah, they kind of did with like, on this episode, for example, like they were all looking out for Jamie's well-being and they were friends and it was cool. And then, of course, like Roy and Jamie fight and they show up to her house and then they both
and they're like pick one.
Yeah, like you have to pick one of us.
Yeah.
She was like, I get to choose which one of you I get to be with. And
thank you so much.
Right.
It's just so like I like that relationship the most. The way it blossomed this season, just perfect.
But it's nice. Go ahead.
No. Yeah. I was just going to say, speaking of Jamie, one of the best developed characters I've ever seen on a TV show ever, especially this season. Like you look at him from like the first episode of like season 1, even into like season 2 and stuff, and you look at him now, they did such a good job developing him as an actual character and like, making him move forward and work through his issues and become a better person. And like this season, especially when Phil Dunster did such an incredible job playing him. Amazing. I was so happy with that.
Yeah.
And it like one of my favorite callbacks is to season 1 where Ted's like, you have to sell it, call for the ball. And then on the game-winning goal, he does just that. And I was like, oh my God, the callbacks going back to season 1. It's like we forgot how big of an asshole Jamie was. Like Jamie in season 1, you hated. He was the villain.
Oh yeah.
And by the time season 3 wraps up, you're like, I just want to hug this man because he's amazing.
I love this guy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And
like that's partly the writers, but it's partly his performance.
He sells it that great.
To him. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing some of these characters and other things because I feel like they've made a name for themselves, worldwide now.
Well, we're going to see.
Absolutely.
Brett Goldstein's going to be Hercules at some point in the MCU.
He did make a comment about Zeus or something. There was like, I don't remember what it was. It was like a throwaway comment, but he did say Zeus in a recent episode. And I was like, I wonder if that was intentional. But maybe that's just.
I think, what's her name? Keely. I can't remember her name for the life of me, but I think she's going to be in the next Juno Temple. Yeah. Yes. Juno Temple. She's going to be in the next Venom movie. So that's right, going to be.
She is. I totally forgot about that because I try to erase anything Sony does outside of like MCU
Batman. But yeah, she wasn't.
She was Selena Kyle's roommate / like looking after. They were, she was back in the Dark
totally
Knight
forgot
Rises.
about that.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, and like I have a soft spot for the Venom movies. They're not great, but I just enjoy the whole Eddie
just heard
Venom
me go
thing.
on a 10-minute Fast and Furious, like why I love this. Here's the timeline. So I'm the last person that should judge anybody's taste in movies.
Well, and how would you catch the Easter egg in Spider-Verse with Venom?
Yes.
Oh, duh.
Was this just a normal Tuesday?
No one likes you, Dan.
It took me a minute. I was like, okay, I know this person, but it just it took me a second.
Yes,
that
was amazing.
You've gotten a Venom reference in No Way Home too. Okay, go ahead.
They did. I was just gonna say the callbacks in season 3 to season 1. So like when speaking of Jamie was when we first see that Nate comes around collecting money, Jamie shoves his chewed gum in the box, whereas this one he like puts the 200 pounds.
Put extra money.
And then some in this.
Yep.
So that was great. Roy Kent's the Julie Andrews. For the first reference to that is Roy reveals to
Princess Diaries.
Yes. that he loves like names The Sound of Music. Maria is his favorite role of hers. And then they do the final reference is they perform The Sound of Music, So Long Farewell. That was another great callback there.
Yep.
And then Jamie again, when he talks about the photo shoot you have when he becomes the brand ambassador for the beer in season 1. And then they go out and enjoy that beer. It's the same beer that he was the sponsor of.
And he's like totally worth the wait.
He's like pounding the beer too. It's funny. He's like chugging. And Roy's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Because he hasn't been allowed to have beer when he was training. I feel like I was
exactly. There's no drinking.
Yeah.
He's like, "You can go watch me eat a kebab."
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm getting chicken."
And obviously we have to talk about the Running Man thing again. Ted did the running Man as they finished off season, brought it back just like they did.
Yeah. He did that in SNL.
Yep. That made me so happy when they brought back Running Man.
And then the guy's like, I never know what to say when a white guy does
white man does Running Man.
Okay, those like the guy that like does the games. So underrated.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's worth just rewatching just to listen to him because I feel like so many of the jokes you almost don't even catch. It's like one of those just hilarious, but you have to be like paying attention to them.
That's
totally.
You definitely do. There's a lot of like deep pool pop culture type references.
Deep cuts.
Yeah, like you really got to which is what I appreciate about this as somebody who like we're elder millennials, right? We grew up around like a lot of the older references, and so it's like, when you get those, you're like, yes, I get that reference.
I understand that reference. Did you get the one at the very end when the guy said "wicked" and he goes "kinky boots"? I died laughing.
Yes. That was amazing.
I missed that one.
That was so great.
I feel like anytime Matt says "wicked" now, I'm just going to start naming a different musical every time.
I grew up on musicals. That one definitely got.
I always wanted to see that musical too. I'm going to see it someday. Hopefully, my move
Wicked
to Virginia brings
phenomenal. I haven't seen Kinky Boots, but no, Wicked.
I saw Wicked a long time ago. I haven't seen Kinky Boots, but Wicked was great.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm like a huge Lion King fan, so when I saw Wicked, I'm like, nothing can beat Lion King. I'd kick the shit out of Lion King. So yeah,
I've seen that like 5-6 times on Broadway.
Ooh, the one where the kid's in the airport and he's like, "Can we take an Ussie?" And then he says "Wicked," and Ted goes,
and it was the same guy.
Oh, it was yes. It was. They had that callback from when he first gets on the plane back in.
Yeah, damn, I need to rewatch season 1.
Yeah, the very first episode, it's the same dude, and then
yeah.
Also, the book that Jamie's reading is the one that Ted gave him that he dumped in the trash. Yeah. So like he pulls it out.
That was pretty great.
Oh, can we talk about when they all pulled the Believe sign out of like their armbands?
Yeah, we're carrying it.
Oh my God, that destroyed me too. Yeah.
It was such
holy crap. That part, I think that was the best part of the episode. That might have been the best part of the whole season.
I don't know. I liked watching the video of Nate hiding.
That was
yes.
That was pretty funny.
It was
nice to get the backstory on Beard through that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Beard and him when Beard came over to his house. Oh my God. And like, I mean, I was just mad that they saved that to the friggin' second to last episode, but
well, it made sense in a way. Like you knew Nate was going to come back. Like the seeds were there, but having Coach Beard be the one, because he was the one that harbored the most hatred. Like Ted doesn't hate anybody. Yeah. He does. Yeah. And then the players, they obviously welcome Nate back. And so really at the end of the day, like Coach Beard, who was the most emotional, I would say, even just because of just all the clues they've given us, how smart he is. It was kind of, you sure you don't want to hit me in the face? And it was a beautiful moment how he's like, yeah, I was basically like this dropout college football player and Ted took me in. And that even showed growth too, because up until the point, Beard had followed Ted everywhere, like they were, Batman and Robin. And so at the very end, when Beard's like, I want to do something for myself now, that was even amazing.
Yeah. I felt like he was still paying Ted back.
Yeah. And we finally got his first name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Willis. And I already forgot what it was. Okay.
Willis. It's so funny that's his first name, like Willis. I love it.
You know what?
It's so weird.
I don't know how to feel about it, but I feel like it makes sense.
It does
for him.
It really does.
It really fits.
The more you say it,
now he's going to have a kid and everything. They gave him the full happy ending.
Well, they confirmed that a lot of people were like, was his wedding a dream? No, his wedding was real. Like Ted just wasn't there. And he was like, it makes sense because why would Ted fly all the way back to come to my wedding? Like
just for that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I've missed friends' weddings and nothing has changed between our relationship. So it made sense when he explained it that way.
Right. And you could see Beard getting married on a whim and like being like,
oh,
let's
yeah,
go
absolutely.
And a lot of people are like,
Stonehenge?
It was the Stonehenge. Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
A lot of people were complaining actually too. Like, why would Beard marry in this, toxic relationship? But it's one of those like Beard makes his own decisions now. Like,
right. They were toxic, but they weren't toxic at the same time. Like if she had been with Ted, it would have been very toxic.
Yes.
But it worked.
Oh, yeah.
For them.
Yeah. Yeah, and Beard's that total like free spirit, like go with the flow kind of guy. Anyway, and he can kind of make anything work. I think. So
yeah,
that's,
and
I think that's why it works for him.
But he liked that she was batshit.
Well, he explained it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had a thing for crazy.
He did.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like two people together can be toxic, but with other people, they can be perfect. Sometimes it's just finding your yin to your yang kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and some people are just assholes.
And some people are just assholes.
There was just one of the more beautiful scenes too, I felt, was, Nate's redemption arc when he was just crying, trying to tell Ted how sorry he was. But Ted was like, dude, I forgave you the second it happened. Like, it was just so beautiful. Because like, Ted is such a pure soul, man. Like, we should all strive to be Ted Lassos in our everyday life. There's so much
funny. At the end of season 2, we're like, fuck Nate, man.
Well,
fuck Nate.
That's the thing, right?
Right.
That's a testament to his acting too. It's like, you actually
he made you want to hate him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, by like season 3, like when it starts, you're kind of like, weird. I right from the get-go, I was kind of like, I have a feeling that how this is going to go, Nate's going to get a redemption arc. But
yeah,
I didn't hate Nate in season 3. I was just like, I'm good with this. Like he seemed like his good spirit was there. He just lost his way. Yeah, he just lost his way. Was all, and it happens.
In the end, you kind of feel sorry for him because of all the Rupert stuff.
God, yeah, such a dick. I love nothing more than when everybody was like wanker.
Oh, God, that another full circle moment when everybody did that to Ted in episode 1.
Sassy though, like she just tells it like it is. I think she might be my favorite.
God, she was amazing.
I love Sassy.
She's like, I hate you. I hope you have a great day. Only because you're such a shitty person. I was like, yes.
Yeah. And like, I remember earlier today, actually, I saw this article. I can't remember where it's from, but on Facebook that they screwed up Nate or something. Somebody was saying that that Nate's arc like failed the show or something. And I'm like, I felt like
how
Nate's arc was perfect for the show. Because I don't think he was ever really bad. He just had horrible role models growing up in his life. His dad made him hate him. Obviously his dad pushed him too hard. His dad pushed him too hard. Ted took him in, gave him a chance, but then all those bad feelings just started popping back up again. Then he goes to Rupert, who is literally the worst. And I think too, Nate's arc too made Rupert a more hateable villain. It's not like you ever actually like Rupert. But by the end, you're like, oh, he's super dead.
Well, right,
because he's taking his character on the edge and pushing him.
I was very worried that Rupert was going to steal Nate's girlfriend. Like, I thought that's the way they were going.
That was a legit concern. Yeah.
And so I was like, he's good. Please don't. Like, you were.
That's exactly what I thought the second they met.
Her good.
Yeah. And then when Nate made the decision,
God.
like, I just want to go home, I was like, that solidifies that Rupert's a piece of shit. And then Nate, it's like, wow, Nate's not a bad dude deep down. He just he was looking for this acceptance, I guess, in a way that he felt he didn't get at Richmond.
I think
the whole time.
So I have a theory on that because we see his dad, he kind of bonds with his dad and he's like, I always pushed you because you had more advantages than I did. And I knew that you were a genius. It was very difficult to raise a genius. And so I think he put too many high expectations on him and pressured him too much. So then when Ted gave him a chance and then he all of a sudden got this confidence with Keeley being like, you got to spit and you got to stand up for yourself. And so he was trying to do that and stand up for himself, but he felt like Ted was putting that pressure on him like his dad had always done. And I think he just kind of cracked and he's like, you gave me a chance, but now if we win or lose, it's my fault. So if we lose, you're going to blame it all on me. And I just think it was, just the pressure. But you saw it in the text messages where he backs it up. I'll make sure Ted's not there again. And he's like, oh no, it was actually, kind of funny.
Yes.
And then he's like,
totally.
But it was nice to see the kid still have that innocence of like, why isn't Nate up here? Let's go to Nate's game. And then May, when she's just like,
oh my God, Nate's one of my favorites.
And then Beer's like, you think we wanted to fucking be there? Give me my beer.
You think we want to fucking be there?
And like she wasn't going to give the kid his food. And she was like, he's a child.
That was great.
Was amazing. Like my first introduction to her was in Doctor Who, obviously. And so a second she came back, I was like, oh God. Yeah, she was in the episode where like they were wearing people's skins. It was a creepy episode.
Oh. But that sounds like some supernatural shit.
Yeah, no, Doctor Who gets really weird, but really great. I love Doctor Who so much.
Doctor Who is all over the place.
It is really all over the place. But yeah, she was her, and then the three dudes who were like the core fan base who just represented every side of sports fandom out there. They were the best. And I loved at the end how when Rebecca sold 49%, so she still owned a majority, but like they had their own piece of paper that said they were a one share owner. I was like, that's the coolest thing ever, because they are like the hardcore fans.
That was amazing.
And they were ride or dies.
Yeah, he made the comment of like, this isn't our team, it's their team. They're just letting us borrow it.
Exactly.
And I think that's true to any player or coach. It's like, you have your certain players that are on the team and are only associated with that team. Like you think Michael Jordan, you think Chicago Bulls, you think Dwayne Wade, you think Miami Heat. But there are, so many players bounce around, so many coaches bounce around. And it's the fans' team. It's not their team.
Listen, as a Green Bay Packers share owner, you're right. It's the fans' team. You're welcome, everybody.
I'm surprised it took you that long to bring it up, honestly. I thought you were going to say it for
me. That's amazing. I wish I could do that with any of my LA teams, but they're way too expensive.
Look, I'm just saying, I get invited to shareholder meetings every August. I haven't gone yet, but one day I will. Oh my God,
how many people are at those shareholder meetings?
Not as many as you think, honestly. Like they were like they
like an HOA meeting. Everybody cares, but nobody goes.
Has there been a food fight like there was with Rebecca and Rupert's meeting?
But we are we are hosting the draft in 2025. So
okay.
I love the food fight.
Yeah,
I love that they had that moment. Yeah, and then when he went to kiss her, she's like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah,
like that was lovely to see the development.
For sure.
I do like that Hannah, that's the actress's name, who's amazing.
Yeah.
Becca ends up like at the end, the little girl she's been seeing the whole time is the Dutchman's daughter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the same actress. That was like,
I kept waiting. Dude, I'm like, is she going to be
I knew from the second that she saw the kid, I was like, that's that guy's daughter. Like there's no way it's not.
It was so good. Like just so many tie-ins, and they tied it in so perfectly that it was just like, man, I'm glad that she didn't end up with Sam. Not that like there was anything wrong with that, and I don't know the relationship, but I feel like it made sense in a way. Like they had that one night stand, and then it turns out that he's an airline pilot, and then she's gonna get that family she's always been looking for. Like he has a daughter, she can't have kids. Like, dude.
Well, and the psychic said she was going to have kids, and she.
I know, like all the calls.
So I knew, because everything else came true. So I knew that something was going to happen.
Yeah, and that guy was just too perfect for her too.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like that whole episode with them was great.
Well, she acted way too nonchalant about her phone ending up at the bottom of the river.
She's rich.
Oh, absolutely.
People don't have those problems.
But what if iCloud didn't back up your last few pictures?
Look, she's rich.
That's always where I got my pictures.
Like, rich people.
I lost a good picture to a BlackBerry 10 years ago.
I have lost a lot of good pictures over time. That I totally agree. But people again don't have those issues. So
their iClouds work better.
I'm sure they do.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. So let's dive into not theories, but let's dive into how we can spin offs, because Apple TV never said that this was a series finale. So I was honestly holding out hope that's like, okay, they said season, but through various posts, like Brett Goldstein's was like, it's been an honor to work on the show, I'm moving on. And then obviously Jason Sudeikis has been very clear from day one that this was a 3-part story. And right now, like Brendan Hunt even was like, yeah, that's it for now. However, they left the door wide open, like multiple doors wide open at the end. One of which Roy is now the coach. You could go right there. Roy, Beard, Nate, they're there. Like you can continue on with them as leading Richmond. They didn't win the championship. I knew that was going to happen, and I'm okay with that.
But they almost did.
They were so close.
Yes, it made sense too. Like I'm totally fine with that. And then the other one is the fact that
Actually,
there's a women's team now.
That was my theory.
You could do
I thought of both of those.
The women's team.
Which I got emotional at that scene, but it's probably just because I'm a girl.
No,
I did too.
Which one would you guys want to see more at this point? Like, what
I'm going for the girls team, man.
Because I personally am too. I want to see the AFC Richmond women's team.
And just seeing Keely and Rebecca smile at it and being like, let's fucking do this.
If we got a Keely and Rebecca spinoff show, I would watch the hell out of that. That would be amazing.
As long as they keep Higgins around, because they
have to keep Higgins around.
Endearing about Higgins and it's like his stupidness. Like,
but he's so insightful too, though.
Speaking of Barbara, she is an very under the radar.
We need to learn more about Barbara.
She is the best. She was like, I prefer there's more blood.
If they do that Keely Rebecca spinoff show, Barbara has to be involved because we have so many unopened doors with her.
Yes, that was my thing. Is like I loved and then I didn't catch it initially, but at the end the publicity thing that Keely's running, it's Barbara now has a desk next to her, so she's like a co-partner in it, and I was like, that's so cool. Like she stayed through her. Amazing.
I think with the breakup with Jack and everything, she realized like Barbara was kind of a dick to Keely because I felt like she was a little like jealous of her. And I think after seeing her go through this stuff with Jack and her seeing her as a real person, I feel like that like furthered their, friendship and respect for each other. So,
and the picture leak and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it was nice because, a picture leak like that, a lot of people could be like judgy of that. And instead she actually had some empathy for her and whatnot. So to see her at the football game at the end, it still feels wrong to say football. I don't know why, but that was cute too, that they did that with Jason Sudeikis with Ted Lasso, where at the beginning he called it soccer and he's like, now it's football.
Yeah. And also another great callback that we forgot to mention earlier is him finally learning the offsides rule.
Yes.
That he's been trying to figure out since episode 1. He's like, 14 was offside.
14. Yeah.
He was like, and then that's when Beard offers up the money. He's checking to make sure it's not counterfeit. He's like, I'm good for it. Trust me. And it was like, that was a great callback. I love that one so much.
That was great. And also I want to give a quick shout out to Brendan Hunt too, who liked one of my tweets today that I responded to on Twitter.
I love that so much for you.
He said something about Little Mermaid being really, really good. So I just responded. Under the sea, baby.
Yes. Dude, I love that.
Here's a total tangent. Yes. Little Mermaid, the best live action Disney remake they've done so far.
I've keep hearing that. Admittedly, I went to Fast and Furious the night that my wife took the kids to see Little Mermaid, but my daughter has been obsessed with it since. She cannot.
It's on my list to see.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Like when it drops on Disney Plus is probably when I'll watch it, just because June is so slam packed with movies. Like I'm seeing Transformers this week. I got Flash next week. I've got Indiana Jones like the week after.
Yeah. And here, so I was about to buy Paramount Plus. All the older Indiana Jones movies are now on Disney Plus. So for anybody who wants to rewatch them before the movie comes out, which I'm doing, you don't need to buy Paramount Plus.
Off air, you can have my Paramount Plus.
I don't need it anymore.
But you can have it still if you need. There's a lot of good stuff on there.
No,
like the Rise of the Pink Ladies.
And just a quick comment on this year.
Pre-show?
This year is going to be just insane for movies. Like the next 2-3 months, I can't remember a year that's been more like jam packed with these. It's just blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster, like every single week.
Onward, dude.
I can't wait for the Marvels.
Insane.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Marvels. Oh my God,
the Marvels is going to be good. I mean, like,
well, let's not forget about TV too. Like, you know what? We have in 2 weeks.
Ahsoka. Oh my God, we have Secret Invasion.
We have Secret Invasion in 2 weeks.
I forgot
Indiana Jones. And then like July is kind of a lull, but not really because we have Barbie and Oppenheimer.
And Mission Impossible 7.
And Mission Impossible 7, yes.
Okay, see, that's another franchise I don't think I've seen since like the second one.
Tom Cruise, I watched these movies for Tom Cruise's crazy stunts alone.
Those came out like when I was in high school. Tom Cruise the person?
Too. No, Tom Cruise, the action star, we will never see another person like it. Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. And he's right in that Top Gun Maverick high, which is up there with one of my favorite movies ever.
And then we have August, like Ahsoka, of course. And then I can't remember off the top of my head, like what movies, but then like
there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming out in August.
Yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mayhem drops in August.
Yes.
I'm stoked for that. And then of course in the fall we have, the Marvels is coming out in November. Like this movie, this year is just looking back. I already forget that things like John Wick have come out and all the movies that I've seen this year. It's just like, we are spoiled. I'm
we are
taking it in now because who knows when this writer strike is going to end. And I am all for.
When is The Boys coming out?
Oh yeah, I think they're still filming that, but
no, I thought they wrapped filming.
So I have a feeling like something tells me the fall, like August, September. I have a feeling because I think that's when Only Murders in the Building is going to drop, is in August.
Oh yeah. And I can't wait for What We Do in the Shadows in July. That's my jam.
Oh, see, I need to watch that. But I have a friend who I told her I would watch a few episodes if she got into Supernatural, and she only watched the first episode and shit on it the whole time and didn't even finish the first episode. Yes. So I refuse to continue watching in What We Do in the Shadows until
we get The Bear next week. The Bear season 2 drops next week, The Bear is a really good show too if you haven't watched that yet. So man. And then we get Loki season 2 is coming out in the fall, like September as well.
Yeah,
I'm still
Echo's coming up. And
Echo's
dropping on my birthday. Yeah, on my birthday, which is pretty great.
Now I know what you're doing all day because they're releasing all of it.
Right, they are releasing it all at once. So I'm taking it in this year because, like I said, like I am more than happy to sit back and rewatch shows if it means like the writers get a fair wage. Like I know the Directors Guild kind of like did some shady stuff. They struck a deal behind the backs. Like that sucks because they're all supposed to be a team. So look, if 2024 is barren, at least let it be known that 2023 has been like the best year for television, TV, or movies out there right now. And even in the comic book realm, like if you're reading comic books right now, like we're getting some really great stories in that realm. So we're so spoiled, man. So spoiled.
Seriously.
I love it.
Our grandparents had like one show a year.
Exactly. They were watching Days of Our Lives.
So we were talking about, because we were looking at the 40th anniversary merchandise of Return of the Jedi. And I'm like, that was the highest grossing movie the month I was born.
Wow.
And my daughter is like, what about you? And I was like, you came out in 2012. It was Avengers. And my mom's born in 59. She's like, I don't know
Casablanca.
What movie. It's like some 50s movie the month I was born.
The movies.
My parents were born in 58, so I'm in the same boat.
Oh man, but it's so good. So
but just looking at that generation, it is crazy how from one generation
so
to the
weird.
Next,
It's all right. So as we wrap up this, man, I want to get some final thoughts. Richard, we'll start with you, man. Final thoughts, Ted Lasso, or anything really. And then of course, plug away, man. Make sure that people know where your readings are because you do some absolutely phenomenal work for the Direct, and everybody should be reading what you publish because I know like as soon as you drop that link, I'm like there.
Well, thank you so much, man. I mean, starting off on Ted Lasso, like you said earlier, I tried to find something that I didn't like about this entire show, not just about this season, but about the entire show in general. And I found it such a difficult time to find anything I didn't like. There were maybe parts that didn't land with me quite as highly as others did, but I have just come to accept that this is not just like my favorite TV show of all time. I think to me personally, this is the best written, best developed, possibly TV show I've ever seen, possibly ever made. I mean, this show is an accomplishment in and of itself. It brought the world back to, a feeling of joy when there really wasn't a lot. Because I think it came out like during COVID, like the heart of COVID in 2020 when it first started. And this show just means so much to so many people. It's something so incredibly special that and I think this just proves to me, because I generally gravitate sort of shows where I feel good at the end. Like you were mentioning The Boys earlier. I caught up on all of The Boys about a year ago. Fantastic show. Great stuff. Dark as hell.
You don't come away feeling like, I feel great. Like I went to therapy like this show.
Well, I mean, the ones with Jensen Ackles, you come away a little like, I feel great. But it's a little different.
Yeah, but this show it makes you feel so good about yourself and just your heart is
be a
so
better
full.
Person.
It's like exactly the Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yes. Totally. And I'm just so thankful that this show exists. I don't know when you guys jumped on board with it. I was actually a little bit late on the bandwagon. I didn't catch up till season 2 started, and I watched through the entire first season with my family, actually, when I was evacuated from Tahoe, where I was living because of fires.
Yeah.
But then I caught up on all of that, started season 2, and I've never looked back. So I'm just so appreciative of this show and what it's meant to me and what it's meant to so many fans all over the world. It's been unbelievable. And for me, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit and everything at Richard Nebens. You can find all my stuff at the Direct. Like I was saying earlier, we've gotten into a lot of like more general movies and stuff.
Love it.
Like I've been writing a lot of Indiana Jones, Little Mermaid, Mission Impossible 7, Oppenheimer stuff. You can catch me later this week. This is actually going to be this is my second of 3 podcasts I'm doing this week. There's one I did with Boardwalk Times earlier today, reviewing Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Shout out to that movie too. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And then later this week, I'm actually filling in as a guest full-time host on the Direct podcast with Matt Remke, because our buddy David Thompson's getting married. He just got married the other day. So congratulations to him.
Congrats.
So I'm going to be hosting the whole show with Matt this week, and we're doing a Transformers Rise of the Beasts review. So I'm going to be catching up on all my Transformers stuff. There's only one movie I haven't seen yet of that franchise, but
Is it the one with Mark Wahlberg?
It's one of the ones with Mark Wahlberg.
I only got halfway through the Mark Wahlberg one.
Yeah.
There's 2 with Mark Wahlberg? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, there's Age of Extinction and number 5, the Last Night, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the
Age
one
of
I haven't
Extinction
seen.
is the one I got.
The only one I
halfway
haven't
through.
seen was the night one. That's the only
I hope
one
this one's good, because
that's the only one I haven't seen.
I have the first one on DVD. It was so
the last one with Haley Steinfeld, John Cena.
Oh, Bumblebee.
Oh,
was
that was a
fantastic.
Bumblebee. Bumblebee was good. That was fun.
Yeah,
I think that's what
Bumblebee was actually really good. I like Bumblebee a lot.
But the first Transformers was like really good.
Yeah, it really was. Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf, Megan Fox. Those.
Oh yeah. 2007. Yeah.
Yes.
But no, so I'm writing there every day. You can find my stuff at thedirect.com, and we put out a lot of good stuff. Our entire team does such a fantastic job with everything. And we've obviously got a huge comic book movie month. We got The Flash coming out in a couple of weeks, and Marvel, DC, Star Wars.
Country's already seen.
I feel like everybody but me has seen The Flash at this point, because everybody's seen it. And I'm just like,
me too.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, no, I'll be there and writing away, podcasting away, and it's gonna be a fun summer.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Lauren, final Ted Lasso thoughts.
I don't know, but I am going to start responding to you with musicals. I'm going to start writing down musicals, and every time you say Wicked, I'm going to be ready for you.
Oh man, my final thought is just like we've already said, man. This show is basically like going to therapy. Watch it. Obviously, if you're here, you've watched it, but it doesn't get much better than this. And I will say though, if you love this show, you love the way it makes you feel, go watch Shrinking. Season 1 of Shrinking.
Oh my God, yes.
Harrison Ford.
That's on my list. I got to check that out.
Siegel.
And it's Brett Goldstein behind the camera.
You leave that show feeling a lot of the same way that Ted Lasso makes you feel. So
I saw an interview with the Scrubs guy who started the show and was trying to get Harrison Ford. Yeah, I almost forget his name. Trying to get Harrison Ford, and he's like, "You have to meet this person," and he's like, "Who's that? Who's Jason Segel? Who's Brett Goldstein? Why do I have to meet with them?" But Harrison it all Ford's came together.
Grumpy old man, but it is.
Dude,
it is
that show's awesome.
It's near perfect too. Like obviously, if this sticks the landing of whatever they're trying to do, season 1 was so great. Jason Segel is one of my favorite actors, of course. So watch that. Apple TV. If you haven't canceled your subscription yet, go read, go listen.
Oh, I need to cancel my Apple subscription.
Go check out all of Richard's work. And man, it's always a pleasure sitting down with you. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. Everybody, hey, we'll see you next week. I don't know what's happening next week. Probably our Flash review. Actually, it's probably gonna be the Flash review, to be honest with you, because we that's coming out this week. This by the time this episode airs, Flash is this week.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we're going to do some Indiana Jones discussion to get you ready for Dial of Destiny as well. So make sure you subscribe, tune in. We'll catch you guys later. Cheers.